Today I'm gonna be making a sweet treat. I don't know about y'all, but I love a good sweet treat. So we're gonna be baking cookies and cream cinnamon rolls or Oreo cinnamon rolls. You have to be specific with baking. You have to take your time. So I'm gonna try to be as detailed as possible so you can get the same results that I get every single time. So let's just get right into it. Whenever I'm cooking or baking, I always like to make sure I have my ingredients out the night before. So I put everything out last night. I also took out my blender and my chopper. So let's get started. Step one, the first thing that we're gonna do is make our tangzong, which is basically like a little pudding that's gonna go inside of the dough. It requires 3/4 water and 1/4 bread flour. Make sure your measurements are exact. So let's do it. This is the bread flour I'll be using. For the flour, I usually spoon it inside little by little. So that's what we're doing here to make sure that it's not too much flour, because sometimes when you just scoop it out, it can be too much. So you just want to make sure that your measurements are exact by scooping and then leveling it out. This is what I do most of the time. I just use my little stainless steel pot. You can use any type of small pot like this that you have. Turn the heat on. And you want this to be over kind of like a medium-high heat. Put your water in. Put your flour in. And you have to watch this. So you're going to continuously whisk until it becomes the consistency that I'm going to show you. This is what we're looking for. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is line our baking dish. This is a 9x13 baking dish from Pyrex. I got it on Amazon. I'll link some of the items that I use in my kitchen on my Amazon storefront so you guys can go find them there. So we're just gonna line this with parchment paper. Okay, so the next step, I'm gonna take my Oreo cookies, the regular, about 8 of them, and I'm gonna put it in my little food processor and crush them up until they get to the consistency that I want, which is just like fine crumbs. This is the consistency of what it should look like, just very fine crumbs. You can beat them up, do whatever you need to do to them to get them like this. But let's move on. Now we're gonna start our dough. So now we're gonna mix together our flour, sugar, yeast, the Oreo crumbs, and a little bit of salt in order to start our dough process. So that's what I'm doing. And the same way I measured the bread flour is the same way I do all of my flours. So I scoop it and I put it inside, and then I put it in the... For this recipe, I'm using quick rise yeast. I'll also put the instructions for if you're using regular yeast, but this is just easier for me. So let's continue. I said this is the flour, the sugar, the yeast, salt, and the Oreo crumbs that we blended up in our food processor. So you're gonna mix that up, and this is gonna be the start of the dough. I'll show you what it looks like once I'm finished mixing it. And you should kind of know, it's just once everything is all combined, make sure you get to the bottom of the bowl and where that white flour is, that it doesn't look just plain white, that it looks like it has everything blended, okay? So you can tell a little bit, you can see the black specks of Oreo, and this already smells good. All right, so for our warm milk, we want it to be anywhere between 105 to 110. Mine is currently at 107, so that'll work. We're also gonna put in our tangzong that we made, and our egg, and vanilla extract. And then we're gonna begin making the dough. So we have vanilla, our egg, our milk, and our tangzong, which it should have gotten a little bit thicker while it's set. So we're just going to pour them in and begin making our dough. Get a spatula. Get a spatula so you can get every last piece, because we don't want this to go to waste. This is what's going to make our cinnamon rolls super fluffy. So we're going to mix this for 2 minutes until we get a shaggy dough. I always like to set a timer too with baking because, like I said, it's so precise and you just never know. So I'm gonna set a 2-minute timer and then we'll be back. I really wish that you could smell this, but this is what our dough looks like currently. It's shaggy. So now we're gonna add in our butter, but 1 tablespoon at a time, and blend it until it's completely blended, and then put the other tablespoon in. This is the part that's a little bit time consuming, but it's 1000% worth it if you want the most fluffiest, butteriest, softest cinnamon rolls. While we're putting our butter in, 1 tablespoon at a time, we're gonna have the mixer running on low, excuse me. So let's enter the first piece of butter, turn the mixer on, and then we wait for this to fully incorporate before we add in the next tablespoon. Now, once all the butter is incorporated, we're gonna continue kneading it for like 8 to 10 minutes. So just let it run, set a timer, and give it 8 to 10 minutes. I always give it right in the middle, 9 minutes, look at it, see how it feels. And if it's perfect, I'll move on. If not, then I'll make adjustments. But yeah, I'm just gonna let her do her thing. This is how your dough should look, and it should stick to the bottom. We're gonna take it out, don't worry about that. Okay, now that our dough is done, we're gonna take it out of our bowl. And it's okay if it sticks to the bottom, just as long as it's not sticking to the sides. So we're gonna take it, form a ball, and that ball, however you wanna form it, wherever the seam is, you're gonna put it in this bowl here, seam side down, and a lightly greased bowl as well, because she's gonna rest for 45 minutes to an hour until she gets double in size. But look at this beauty. Supple, soft, moist, and smells delicious. It's gonna be so good. So we're just gonna put her in here and rest, and then we'll work on our filling. So let's do it. So our dough has doubled in size. We're gonna take this out and roll it out. But before that, let's make the filling for our cinnamon rolls. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is put our brown sugar, Oreo crumbs, a little bit of cinnamon, and our butter. And we're gonna mix this together until it's all incorporated. I also reserve some of the Oreo cookie crumbs because I like to put them in the frosting as well. So you can, you don't have to, but I like seeing the little specks of Oreos in the frosting. So we're just gonna mix this up. And I almost missed one important thing. The black cocoa powder. This is what's gonna make it really dark and rich. So we're gonna put a tablespoon of this in. And this I actually ordered off of Amazon. So like I said, I'll put everything that I got from Amazon in my Amazon storefront so you guys can get the same products. But we're gonna put a little bit of this in here as well. And then mix it up. And this is what you should have. It looks like dirt, yummy dirt. So let's start rolling out our dough. So we're gonna lightly flour our surface before we put our dough on here. Not too much, just a little bit. We're gonna take our dough out, and it should fall out cleanly. And then we're gonna roll her out. If y'all can smell this, it smells so good. Then we take our filling mixture and we're just gonna spread this all the way out. When you're all done spreading it out, it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you spread it, it's the perfect amount. Use a pizza cutter and take off the uneven edges just a little bit. You don't have to do this, you can keep it if you want. But I do this first. Then just take these pieces off. Did it line up? Take these pieces off. You want to roll away from you. Like that. And you just do that for all of them. Rolling away. Baking, I honestly just started getting into baking last year, I would say, after I had my son. It was just another hobby that I loved cooking, but I always thought baking was too complicated or too hard, or I didn't have the patience for it. But when you become a mom, your patience grows. So here I am, a baker. And I made these for like a Galentine's event along with my red velvet ones, and everybody loved them. So I'm gonna finish this, and then we're gonna put it in our Pyrex dish to poof for probably another 30 minutes to an hour. But so far I have 3, 6, 9, 10 rolls. Perfect. This is a close-up of how they look. Here's another view. Beautiful. So now we're gonna place them in our dish. And I said 30 minutes to an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, just until they double in size. And you'll know when. So I'm gonna show you what they look like now, and then once they've poofed. All right, see you in an hour. So they have doubled. I think more than doubled in size. So I already preheated the oven to 325, and then once it's preheated, we're gonna put them in for 20 to 25 minutes, and they'll be good to go. So let's make the frosting. Look at that. Look how good those look. A closer look. Now we're gonna whip the butter and the cream cheese together first. Once you have the butter and the cream cheese mixed, we're gonna put in a cup of powdered sugar, right? 1 cup. Good job. And the last step is just to whisk the heavy cream into your icing. So that's what I'm doing, just whisk. And then I'm gonna add, I might add the cookie crumbles after. The oven beeped, So it's time to put them in.
Artlist.io